Okay, we're here today with Teemu from Megadeth. You're playing today, you're headliners at the festival. But it's not the first time Megadeth is playing here, but it's your first time playing with Megadeth.
That's right.
How's it been since September that you joined the band? It's
It has
crazy,
been,
right?
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy, but it has been really great. I mean, a bit surreal, of course. I mean, would have not really imagined this, you know, back when I was 12 years old and like heard my first Megadeth records and like got into the metal music initially, but yeah, it's pretty amazing to be here and really happy to play these festivals, which some of these European festivals are of course more familiar to me from my previous bands as well, so it's really great to now do the headliner slots.
It's a big difference from GoetiaMedia to Megadeth, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, but it's been said that you have like this kind of addiction for Megadeth, that you've been studying previous guitarists who've been in the lineup. So, who you are most fond of? Because most people is Marty Freeman, right?
Sure. Yeah, I would say Marty Freeman as well. I mean, I've studied a lot of guitarists over the years, like not only the Megadeth guitarists, but Marty has been always one of the guitarists up there for me. Of course, the kind of usual suspects like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and John Petrucci and those guys I kind of grew up with as well. A lot of the Finnish power metal scene, and then a lot of the kind of more fusiony stuff as well, like Greg Howe and Guthrie Govan has been one of my favorites for a long time. So kind of diverse range of different players, and then the more you learn, you kind of tend to start to find these similarities and start to see like, okay, this guy actually got this thing from this guy, and kind of seeing the kind of history of the styles developing. So that's really interesting for me.
Right, cool. So it has been said that actually Kiko Loureiro got you the kick for Megadeth. He was saying like, okay, this guy is really good. He can be my replacement. It's true, right? Yeah, that's true. I'm really thankful for him to, you know, having done that, and he was really welcoming and helped me out a lot in the beginning for sure. Right. How was the first gig with Megadeth? First gig was it somehow felt really smooth. I had met the guys a couple of times before the US tour in Europe, and then I flew into the US like 2 days before the first show. One day before we had like production rehearsals on the stage, playing through the songs one time, and it really felt great. Everybody was so welcoming, and by that time I was really comfortable with the set list already. We had figured out like what we're gonna play, and we had practiced together enough, and by myself as well, and I tried to as prepared as I could, you know, like playing in a room without lights, being able to play eyes closed, and you know, practicing. I rented like a place near my home where I could like have a little bit more space to run around and, you know, walk backwards and play the solos, and, you know, just challenge myself so I feel comfortable on stage. Right. So gear-wise, what the instruments you are trying, which if you have to pick one brand or style, do you have your favorites? Or yeah, I mean I've used a lot of different instruments and different gear over the years. I'm kind of a gear nerd, and definitely a guitar nerd. I'm kind of guitar collector as well, and I've mainly played Ibanez over the years, and I love those guitars. But I have also some other brands that I haven't used that much now on this tour. I play Gibson Les Paul for one song, which has been a lot of fun as well. And yeah, let's see what happens in the future. Right. So are you already talking with the band about what you're gonna do next, like a recording, a new album, an EP, something like that? Yeah. Right, so now we're just finishing up this European tour. This is the second last show here. We're playing tomorrow in Lisbon, Portugal, and then we're going home for a few weeks. So we're having a bit of time off with the family, and starting to prepare for the US tour. We have the US tour coming up in August and September, so a really long one. We do 4 weeks of shows, and then we do like a week in between break, and then another 4 weeks, so it's 2 legs with Mudvayne and All That Remains supporting. So it's going to be a fun tour, and after that we're having again a little break. Then we're going to Mexico for 1 week in the end of October, I believe.
around the Halloween time, we do like special fan kind of experience there with private shows and acoustic stuff and things like that. And around that time, we're probably getting more into the album pre-production as well. So, so we've been talking about like which way we're gonna do it, where we're gonna do it, and like which methods to use for songwriting. But yeah, I've been collecting some riff ideas for sure for that. I'm looking forward to working with the guys on that.
I mean, do you for sure maybe they will put your input there, right? Have you ever thought about what crazy ideas to put there on the album, or?
I try to make it as spontaneous as possible. So when I'm writing, I'm usually like when we're now working on new songs at the set list, I'm listening to a lot of Megadeth stuff that I didn't necessarily listen to like all the time before. So I'm constantly kind of immersed by Megadeth music in a way, learning it, so that naturally influences me to write that sort of stuff as well. I don't really have to think too much about it. I pick up the guitar in my hand and think of like some of the tips that Dave has talked about, like about nuances in riffs, and maybe like just an idea of like push and pull and maybe like dynamics, and then that usually turns into a riff idea.
So setlist wise, there's lots and lots of Megadeth songs. It's impossible to play them all, but from time to time you play like, I don't know, a song that you didn't play live for the last 15 years or something like that. Do you have any of your favorites that you want to include on the set list in the future? Like,
for sure. I mean, there's a lot of great songs in the catalog, and like you said, you can never please everybody because you only have a certain amount of time. And we've been now trying to add a couple new songs every tour, which has been a lot of fun, like really fine-tuning the details in the songs, and also seeing the guys like relearning some of the songs that they maybe didn't play in a very long time, and like now we have the opener songs which nobody played before this tour, so it has been a lot of fun, and I mean, I've told Dave and the guys that if I got to choose, I'd probably pick some songs from Cryptic Writings, because that was like for me the first experience with Megadeth.
Yeah, that was my next question, because everybody talks about like Peace Sales or Rust in Peace or the classics, right?
Sure.
But for you, that album maybe is special.
Yeah, I mean, there's I would say there's multiple favorites in the catalog for me, but Cryptic Writings has that special nostalgic value for me personally.
Right. So everybody talks about Marty Freeman because he's on and off, like he's doing collaborations whenever he can, or if you meet him on a festival or something like that. Would you like to play with him as well?
Yeah, of course, that would be amazing for sure, having him again come for a three guitar attack on stage. That would be really cool.
Yeah, there are amazing bands that have three guitarists, and it works.
Yeah.
But maybe for Megadeth, maybe it's too much. I don't know. It could work.
I think Dave probably wants to keep it special, and maybe like, you know, few songs every once in a while would be really great. But I mean, I definitely don't have anything against it. If Marty would come in, that would be really awesome for me, just to see it up close and, you know, getting to play with the man.
Yeah. And you know, the Big Four was established a long time ago. They have this thrash metal legends, but there are new bands still playing thrash metal and speed metal now, in the 80s.
Yeah.
If you have to pick like 4 but newer bands, like bands that they've been playing for like 5 or 10 years, or do you think that they are amazing? Do you think of any of the 4?
Well,
the new Big Four, something like that?
the new Big Four. Let me think. Well, first one that comes to mind is Finnish Lost Society.
Yeah.
Young guys, really good,
live,
really good energy. Good. Yeah. Then let me think. There's a few other ones. I forgot names, but let me think. I'm personally always going back to the classics, of course, like Slayer, Testament, Megadeth, Metallica. Let me think. Maybe slow. Well, if I had to pick like pure trash bands,
It's Havoc. They're amazing.
Havoc. We actually toured with Havoc with Winterson. Yeah, they were really great.
Yeah.
Who else? Remind me.
I don't know if you know this band from Spain. They're called Angelus Apatrida.
No, I haven't heard of them.
They are a thrash metal. They are getting very known now in Europe and the US as well. So they're quite good.
Yeah.
So probably we can include them. In the Spanish side.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much for the interview. Okay,
thank you so much.
And we hope to see you playing today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.